All right, moving right along. We have our sixth hybrid training hack. We're going to be demonstrating the fundamental push patterns. There's going to be both a horizontal and a vertical push I will demonstrate with barbells, kettlebells, dumbbells, all the bells. Universally regarded as one of the better days in the gym because every guy likes a good chest and bench day. So before any further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to show you the first one being an incline barbell press. So that's going to be more for our upper pec development. And if you have an adjustable bench, I'm using a Rogue bench here, 30 to 45 degrees is probably fine on that. So let's go ahead and see what some of the cues for this would be. I imagine trying to bend the bar right in half when I'm doing my bench pressing. I'm bringing it under control, just about an inch or to my chest, and then pushing out more concentrically faster than eccentrically, or the lowering phase. So controlled and lowered to the chest, and then you could push out a little bit faster on the way back up are the main cues for that. As you can see, again, I'm just demonstrating what area of the pec this is targeting. So you're going to get lift off. I like to be almost at full extension when I am taking the weight off of the rack. Slow and controlled to the chest. Externally rotating my shoulders, pinching my shoulder blades together, and pressing that back up. Again, you want to maintain contact with the floor at all times because you do want to get some contribution from your lower body during a bench pressing motion. So don't neglect the legs with that. Next, I'm going to adjust the bench and show you a dumbbell double arm flat press. This is a good variation for anyone going through some shoulder injuries, as it allows for a little bit more degrees of freedom at the wrist, or improving that muscle imbalance. Let's say if you're coming off of surgery, that way you know each arm is at least getting the stimulus of the weight in the hand. Versus a straight barbell, you might be using one hand more than the other without really noticing it if you're not videoing yourself in the mirror. So I like having a slight angle, so externally rotating again with the dumbbells, so they're not going to be straight out in front of me, but maybe the inner side of the dumbbell is going to be higher up than the farther side to get those shoulders to kind of engage a little bit more. Speaking of shoulders, next is going to be a vertical military press. I like having a bench or something in front of my knees so I can avoid the push press motion where you kind of get more lower body contribution, and just make this more of a strict military press where you're coming in right about the clavicle or collarbone as the resting position, and then you're going to have a slight gaze upward as you push it off the collarbone into the air. Next, I'm going to show a way without any equipment to get some pec and chest development through a push-up progression, starting with I would call it a decline push-up with your feet elevated. About 20 to 24 inches can increase that to about 65-70% of body weight, as a normal push-up is around 55 to 60. So here's a decline clap push-up as well, so make it more explosive, more plyometric with the upper body and not just the lower body as well. Next, I'm going to demonstrate some single arm kettlebell shoulder presses. So you can be in a half kneeling position with your opposite arm out for stability, trying to maintain the kettlebell in a neutral position without too much internal external rotation at the wrist or the elbow. Don't want to have too much stress at the elbow there. You mostly want to isolate up to the shoulder here. So you're going to press opposite of the leg that is in front, so left arm in that case, right leg forward. And then if you want to get more dynamic with your pushing motions, here's a sled progression. Sleds are really good for total body, a warm up or high intensity day on your pressing motions. You can have the full protracted position with your arms, or your arms can be a little bit closer into the body. I prefer the full protraction as it gets more scapular abduction and your serratus anterior muscle to turn on. So again, If you're going through kind of a warm-up, you can go through slow sled pushes, or you can make these as high intensity as you want by sprinting through it. So those are some things to consider when you're building your training plan. I again have training plans on the website, TriumFitChallenge.com. But again, play around with some of those, see what works best for your training goals, and thanks for watching.